Last week, I traveled for 24 hours straight to the other side of the world to spend a grand total of 36 hours in Shenzhen, China, and to feast my eyes on the international launch event for the ZUK Z1. Today, I share my experience with you. After a whirlwind couple of weeks obtaining plane tickets and expensive Chinese visa, all documented over on my daily vlogging channel, links down below, I found myself at the Intercontinental Hotel in Shenzhen, immersed in a language and a culture I knew very little about. On Friday, the first full day of the trip, I woke early, thanks to jet lag. I banged out an XDA news video despite the great Chinese firewall fighting me every step of the way, and I was taken by car to the Elephone headquarters. In a private office there, myself and a few other members of the media were treated to a look at a few really interesting upcoming Elephone devices. The first one was this gaudy gold device with a fingerprint sensor on the back, a 20 megapixel rear-facing camera capable of 4K video, and Android 5.1 out of the box. Second one, which Matthew wrote an article about, was a much smaller, unnamed device, which is going to be available for about $80. It was ridiculously small and absolutely adorable, and I want one. After that, we were presented with our very own ZUK Z1 devices and a complimentary 9,000 mAh Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0 battery pack, and then we were sent on our way. Regrettably, the trip to and from the Elephone office was actually the most sightseeing I got to do while we were in China. Anyway, I filmed the unboxing video when we returned, and later that evening was the launch event itself. The room was filled with people, but as it turns out, the majority of them were Chinese marketing people and distributors trying to decide if their companies were going to be stocking the Z1. So there were only about 6 or 8 media members there. Aside from a few interesting bits of traditional Chinese culture, including dancing and sand painting, the launch event was fairly straightforward. Specs were introduced, justifications for using the Snapdragon 801 were given, and all sorts of features were touted. Vikram, the Senior VP of Global Partnerships for Cyanogen, came up on the stage to discuss the partnership between ZUK and Cyanogen that was announced last week. 6 Z1 devices were given away, and interestingly enough, Vikram was one of the winners. And then to wrap things up, the Z1 itself was dramatically unveiled from a giant clamshell. Models were sent out onto the stage with Z1s in hand, runway style, and they were sent out into the crowd to take selfies. And somehow, amongst all of this pandemonium, a Z1 running Cyanogen ended up on the table in front of me, which I happily fiddled with for a few minutes. And then, of course, after all of this, the sort of real event took place. The few members of the media who were there were taken to a separate boardroom, and they were allowed to ask questions to ZUK's CEO and Vikram from Cyanogen. To quickly pass along some of the information we were given there: 1. Cyanogen OS is going to be coming to the International Z1 in the next 4 to 6 weeks or so, with source code to follow shortly thereafter. 2. The name ZUK doesn't actually mean anything. It's not even the name of the company. It's just the first name they could find that had an available .com domain was very short, and the trademark was available in China. 3. The ZUK CEO attempted to answer the question about the Z1's lack of NFC, basically saying it's complicated. But there may be a cover available for the Z1 eventually that would enable NFC. So I would guess that means that the contacts are there for NFC, they just don't have the actual pad on it. I haven't opened it up to check. And finally, it was mentioned that a ZUK Z2 will almost certainly be coming, and they're planning to continue partnering up with Cyanogen as well, so the Z2 would have that. So ZUK definitely isn't planned to be a one and done type of company. And anyway, as a bit of a finale, a banquet was provided by ZUK with some traditional Chinese cuisine involving tongues, intestines, and stomachs of animals that I didn't care to try to identify. And because I completely forgot to mention it, and how could I, the ZUK theme song played the entire time, over and over again, for hours and hours. It's actually kind of catchy. So all in all, even though I didn't actually get to do any sightseeing while I was in China, the event itself was definitely an entertaining one. I'll be coming back at you soon with a full review of the ZUK Z1, and if you haven't seen it already, the unboxing is available as well on this channel, links down below. But that's gonna be about all from me for today. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to hit that thumbs up button down below the video if you like this video, subscribe to receive all of our videos when they become available, and I'll see you again next time.